Well, hello there. It is April 2nd, 2026, which means it is time for my March of 2026 monthly retro. If you guys are new here, you know the drill. Come on now. This is my monthly habit where I tell you everything that's going on, way too much to where you probably don't care about a lot of it. But I have been doing this for the last 20 months, and it is one of the single best habits that I have. A few things right off the rip. This will be the last video on this channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel that I list on the page, which is my other channel called Andy the Freelance Marketer. Just came up with that name, but it's going to be real. To where I can move some of that stuff over here. We're releasing more of a client-centric content strategy, and as much as I love being a hustler, worker boy, and showing you guys everything, I think it's best to separate these audiences from something that's client facing to something that's you guys are following along on my journey. Because I don't want to stop doing these. I get a lot of great feedback about these, and it's just good for my mental health. So, other thing, a couple changes we're making to the format this month. I got some really good feedback from a couple sources that said it would be much more helpful to talk more about the lead generation side of things. So I'll be going into more detail as to how we got some of our current clients and how our pipeline is filling up towards the future, and exactly how we came in touch with those clients and prospects, and talking a little bit about the sales cycle, because if you guys are here to learn, I'm here to share everything. And while I will always feel imposter syndrome around giving advice, I like to tell stories. And if you can learn from those stories, then hopefully my journey can be helpful to you. So, as always, if you guys haven't been following along, you know the tool stack. We keep everything in Notion, just in terms of notes, logging everything, so we have the manual responsibility of checking to see where things came in, taking screenshot, logging them, etc. This, what you've been seeing right here, is our master financial spreadsheet, where we go in and manually track everything, calculate labor hours, contractors, and add our recurring clients, project work, separate that out, etc. And we also use a software called Monarch Money, which is kind of our top level aggregator, sits on top of all of our bank accounts, where we can get super duper creative and categorize things like business expenses, personal expenses, and also get even a little bit more granular to identify things like software, tools, things that could be potential tax write-offs here down the line, which is how we discover things like how we paid $1,000 for AI this month, which we will get more into. So without further ado, let's start in Notion with kind of our top level aggregator. Again, super rewarding to see everything being tracked since February of 2024, which I think is 20 months, which I said off the rip here. So a couple things that I forgot to log here is I do track my LinkedIn followers, my mailing list size. I'll go ahead and check LinkedIn just because it's top of mind, and it'll be a quick little check here. So LinkedIn followers, we are currently, should be a lot higher because I've had some posts pop off a good bit. There's Matt's post, I'll have to engage on that. 6509, which puts us relative to last month at February 26th, 6311. So almost 200 gain there. Not too shabby. It's a little over average. We've been averaging about 100 a month growth. So I'll hide last month's review here, get into this month. Top line business revenue, $15,118 with $6,314 of business expenses. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was nervous to record this video because this is our lowest since the summer of last year. In the past week or so, I had a lot of animosity around filming this because I was like, man, I am such a failure. I think a lot of traditional Midwestern salt to the earth people like me, and a lot of agency owners around here that I've gotten to meet and learn from, we attach a lot of our self-worth to revenue and the success of the business. And when it hasn't been going well, I feel it. I put it hard on myself, and I identify places in my schedule where I should have worked harder or acted smarter, or some of the investments that I made that weren't very smart. And this is the highest month of expenses in a long time, and the highest month of revenue, or the lowest month of revenue in a long time. And the positives of doing this is that I'm able to identify those and control why, and be able to see why. Like when we go through the spreadsheet, you'll see that we had a gap month in project work, we had one client churn, and it informs me as to what I need to do next month to try and right that ship a little bit, change the numbers. So, sorry, I had something in my teeth there. So, personal income 440, personal expenses 370. This is all passive. This is all from dividends and stock market, which is nice. Slowly getting higher month over month. But here's screenshots of everything just to attribute actual values to it. We have a lot of stuff sitting in Stripe right now, so it hasn't made its way to Moxie yet, or Monarch money yet, so that's why it's a little bit shorter. Pipeline. So this is per our listeners' request, getting more into the detailed side of things. We currently have between 10 and 11K in proposed monthly recurring pipeline. I'm going to talk about how those landed. So this month, a proposed 3K a month pipeline. I'm very good at remembering attribution and logging this, so it'll be helpful to share. So I connected with an agency owner here in Columbus that I had on the podcast. When I was recording that podcast, so you're looking for ideas on curating a good referral network and being able to tie that back to actual project work, take note of the story. So we currently have between 10 and 12K, 10 and 11K of proposed project pipeline, and that was all through result of referrals and maintaining networks, which I think any business model, it's going to be the majority of pipeline is going to come from referrals. No matter how intentional you are about curating them, obviously you can increase the likelihoods of that a lot more. But for this new one that came in, I'm confident this will close tomorrow by the end of this week, recording on a Thursday here. Because order of operations here, I had an agency owner on the podcast, and this just aired this week. So if you're listening, check out the podcast for this week. Marketing by Design, available on all platforms. And during that podcast, I asked him for several people in Columbus that he looked up to from an agency owner standpoint. And he mentioned like 4 or 5 people right off the rip. So naturally, I asked him to introduce me to those people. And wouldn't you know it, just great relationships. I had a call with one of his biggest role models in the marketing space. She used to own an agency in Columbus, and now I think she lives in Kentucky now, but she's not in Columbus anymore. And when we were on that call, she literally said, crazy timing. I saw you do Webflow. One of my friends works at an agency, and their agency just ditched them. And so just sent an email. She booked a call, and that's a 3K a month retainer just for maintenance and a little bit of SEO and updates. The proposed 5K a month, this is a really long sales cycle. So last year we did 6 Webflow websites for a startup in Utah, and you guys might recognize their name if you've been following this channel for a while. And we wrapped up the project work, made a really good impression, did a lot of awesome work, and just maintained the relationship. And they came back this month via an email. I did a little bit of work helping them manage some posts. They had an article that was about their company that they wanted a little bit of strategy on how to publish that out to LinkedIn. It led to a conversation with the founder, and he essentially said, hey, we need help. What can you do to help us with? And this is the amount we agreed on. Again, this is proposed. It hasn't closed yet. The proposed 2K a month, this is another good one. So a year and a half ago, I was at a networking event in Columbus, and I met a guy, remaining anonymous, but he had a local business in Columbus, and I maintained a relationship with him. He I did a little bit of project work with him back then, built him a website. Did not charge nearly as much as I should have. I think I charged like 3K. And he stayed in touch. He just recently, as of a month or so ago, acquired another firm in Virginia. And guess who was the first person he reached back out to? And it was me. And I said, okay, we'll build you the website. And just proposed a little bit of branding in there, came to a price. The project rate was 8K, and proposed monthly is, again, very high likelihood of this closing because we've already worked together twice now. So, again, if you want to start being more intentional about curating these opportunities, it's going to look like a lot of conversations. It's going to look like a lot of emails that seem unproductive, just staying in touch, going first proactively without asking for your handout. That's how a lot of these opportunities occur for me. And you can be intentional about curating them, having more conversations, and setting the conditions for that. Like, for example, if I didn't have a podcast where I was talking to other agency owners, a lot of this situational project work and availability staying top of mind wouldn't be happening. So my recommendation to you guys, and specifically to the person who reached out asking I be more specific on the pipeline and lead generation side of things, is be very intentional about who you're talking to. Don't be pitchy, don't be overly straightforward and say things out of context, because it will happen. If you go and you give and you don't, it's going to sound very vanilla, but it's very true. Just give with nothing in return, have conversations, make a good impression, flatter people if that's what you like to do. I'm not the most charming person. I'm not the most attractive person. Maybe I am. Maybe you guys can hype me up in the comments. Sorry, if you want to. Again, awkward, see? But just enjoy having conversations. And I know this is so hard to do when we have incentives, like I am very business driven. I want to grow this thing. I have huge visions for the future. But again, make sure you're continuing to follow as we hit 250,000 this year. So on the other channel, so you have to go to the other channel too. But okay, so that's a little bit on the pipeline side of things. Again, things are looking up. And going to the spreadsheet here, the reason why we had a bit of a down month is, as you can see, I blacked out the client names because I'm not making that mistake again. But the ones at the top here are recurring. So as you can see, last month we started a new retainer client and we did a great job for them. Very responsive out of the gate. Had the developer jump right in on that and fix those annoying issues that they had right away, making a really good impression. And it was a no-brainer for them to continue. Like there was no discussion about it. There was like, okay, it's been a month, let's keep going, easy. This lead recently was the result of a community that I'm in. So again, for those of you interested on the pipeline lead generation side of things, I joined a community and they had no one that had Webflow experience in that community. And I was the first one that came to mind. Like it's an easy fit. Something that is very helpful for curating referrals is if you can create the when method. So I call it the when method. So when is the situation when someone would refer to you where it's obvious? If you associate yourself, you want to be careful about associating yourself with a tool or with a something that's volatile, that's out of your control. But I've done that, for lack of better terms, with Webflow. When people think of Webflow, I'm usually the first one that comes to mind. And it's, the more surface area you have in terms of your relationships, people that you add value to, the easier it is for them to feel comfortable introducing someone that they trust to you. Because when people make a referral to you, they are entrusting you with their credibility, their personality, which is everything, especially in solo consultancy-led businesses. So yeah, we had a couple small project work that we took up here that like really got us across the finish line. Next month should be a lot less stressful. We have three back half of project works being closed next month. So we're already almost at what we made this month without any of our recurring revenue. So hoping to, be a lot more productive on that side of things and take a lot of stress off, which as we get into the wins and losses here, you'll be able to see was indeed a stressful month. But now I'm going to go into the wins, the losses, and action items and goals for next month. So this is my favorite part. So also, by the way, too, guys, I'm also building, I was hoping to have it ready for today, but I'm also building a dashboard where I have all of this custom coded within Claude, and it's not loading right now, but it's got my branding. It has like the entire layout of everything that I go over in these retros, and it'll be really cool to be able to see. And yeah, Claude is dope, by the way. I've been loving using Claude. Let me know in the comments if you guys are too. Okay, this is behind date and accurate, so the revenue appears a little bit lower. But this is my favorite thing to look at every month. It's just a Sankey diagram. You can see where we're overspending relative to past months and just see, okay, this is what's going in, this is where it's going out. Just like food, and if you don't use it efficiently, it comes out inefficiently too. So you guys know where that analogy was going. But okay, so we have contractor labor was a big chunk this month, and the reason for that is we invested in a video editor, which we'll talk about in the monthly review. did not go well. We invested in bringing on a team member on retainer, which was a better experiment. And it's just high volumes of work from our like retainer clients that I then sent to Ali as our redeveloper. So he was worked a lot this month. Clearly, I was worked a lot this month, and we just overall as a whole, it wasn't a very leveraged month in terms of how I spent my time, the work we did, and it manifested itself in the revenue. Least profitable month since summer of last year. So this month was a reminder that I needed, and I'm feeling a lot better now that we have the pipeline full again, but I'm not going to lie, like I said, it was stressful here the past couple weeks. So business software tools. So again, it's very helpful for me to categorize these like this because these are all potential categories of tax deductions. So if I click into business and software tools, what made this up? So we started paying for a CRM, Folk, which is dope, love it. Recurring expense, Canva, and you're going to see a lot of these. Anthropic. Oh boy, we had some fun with AI this month. And honestly, like, I can't even trace it to anything productive. I tried to build a dashboard for $116 on Anthropic, and that's not even for the main subscription. These are just add-ons. So, yeah, I can't trace this to any client revenue. Like, this is just playing, it's having fun, and it's not productive. I tried to build a client dashboard that's synced with Google Analytics, and it works, but just in terms of my habits, when we get on client calls, I'm still defaulting to GA4 just because I know it better. So, a note for the future, be careful with AI tools and over-investing in them. Business Rent, that's our friends at Cohatch. Business Networking and Outreach, $299 paid for a conference that'll be taking place later this month here in a few weeks in Columbus. Excited for that. Business Travel and Meals. Yeah, we met a client here, and then this is for our. This is in the wrong category. Should be in taxes and business. So let me go ahead and add that. Just put in insurance, same category. So yeah, those are the breakdowns in terms of profit and loss. Let's get into the wins and losses, finally. I said I was going to do that a while ago, but I'm actually going to do it now. Wins and losses, open up Notion. Okay, so wins, unexpected client quarterly invoice came in. We have a quarterly arrangement just for, it's a very lightweight scope of work, but just for Webflow maintenance for a client. They pay quarterly, so that kind of saved our butts this month in terms of revenue. Again, new recurring client signed, pipeline is filling up. Deepened relationship with Clark, who's our developer. Again, I'm learning from a team standpoint, it's such a push and pull in terms of being vulnerable and displaying trust. And I told him off the bat, like, this is the most I've ever outsourced. This is the most money I've ever paid in a month by far. And I have to say, even though it's cutting into our profitability, it is worth it. I'm able to get the lead generation side of things going. I'm more able to focus on that as my primary job. Because if you own an agency, it is our job. The pipeline is our job. So finding a way to enjoy that and get as good at it as possible. So yeah, said next, first month feeling empowered by AI instead of intimidated. And to be honest with you guys, I still go back and forth on this. I have days where I'm totally bullish. I'm like, man, this is awesome. Other days where I'm just like, it's going to end us all. And some days I'm in between. And I imagine a lot of you kind of feel similar ways. Strong calls with Brian Andreyko. If you guys aren't connected with Brian on LinkedIn, highly recommend. He is my sales coach. We had like a live coaching call that we hopped on Riverside and recorded. Highly recommend a follow for this guy, Brian Andreyko, on LinkedIn. Great follow, great hang. Joined 2 Slack communities, 10x Solo and Health Tech Nerds. Good for lead generation and also just mental health. Talking with other people who are consultants who have been through this before me. Adding value, nothing in expectations of return. Getting more comfortable investing into the business and experimenting. So next month when I record this, again, make sure you guys are subscribed to the other channel, or else you're going to miss it and you're going to be sad. It's been 20 months. You got to keep following along. I appreciate you guys. I'm experimenting a little bit with programmatic SEO and cold email. So if I can pull this up quickly, I'll show you guys. I don't have Webflow pulled up, but I am putting together a cold email campaign, and I'll probably end up doing a case study about this. But I have invested into this. That's a bit of why our software expenses were higher this month. Paying for instantly, paying for list generation, and just trying to do all this myself. Peter, who's the chap right here we'll talk about next, gave me a few ideas, and I bought these from Google Workspace, paid for the domains, did everything manually, set up the MX, TXT, DMARC, SPF, all the freaking acronyms for doing that. And it's still in the warm-up phase. I'll probably wait about another week on this, but I have 2 campaigns built out here and instantly. I'm going to see how cold email works. Again, I don't have high expectations. I view this investment as an MBA into learning the lead generation side of things, seeing how it performs. And again, make sure you guys are subscribed to their channel to make sure you have to find out and don't have to pay to learn the lessons that I'm paying to learn, and effort, because it took like hours to set this up. SEO. So on the site, let me log into Webflow quickly. On the site here, currently experimenting with like some SEO service pages. So getting like really having specific pages for all healthcare subverticals that we have expertise in, and having like ranking targeted pages for each of these. So you see like under web design, healthcare, Medicare, pharmacy, health tech, benefits, diagnostic, medical device, telehealth, healthcare, HIPAA compliant, and then we can use the Webflow CMS for this, but again, an experiment, an effort. We have like 30 some of these pages, so we'll see how this goes. But I mean, I can't see it being a huge waste of time. It's not too bad of a time investment because we have Clark doing all the development and me just essentially just in Slack telling him to work more and telling him what to do. So excited to see how that turns out. That's another experimente. Scaling mastermind. So me and 3 other agency owners that are between the 2 and 500K revenue mark started a mastermind. So we meet once a month, and this has been just awesome. Like all these people, Ezra, McCarthy, Sam, Sarsden, Alexia, can't remember her last name, but sorry, Alexia. It's been an awesome time. Like we've only had 1 call so far, but people are just easy to talk to, don't have to worry about looking good, and a lot of them are struggling with the same things that I am. Like it's kind of like Hormozy's analogy of like you've outgrown your high school friends, but you're not cool enough to be in the cool crowd yet. We're kind of in that messy middle phase, and a lot of these people are going through the same things that I am. Exact Medicare, one of our recurrent clients, very happy, just very appreciative of the work. I've done 3 websites for them now. Have another call with them tomorrow morning, so I need to prepare for that after this. But it just makes me happy when clients are happy. Just my perceived level of existence is higher. Great meeting with Noah Goldfarb. He works at Fire and Spark. And he talked to me about how he's putting together health tech masterminds for other marketing service providers in the space. Just very generous with his time and ideas. Peter Guba, my legend here, he drove from Michigan to record a podcast, hang out for the day, and talk agency growth. And this was like fucking awesome. Like this was just great. Shout out to Peter for coming down. I made him a meme recently, if I can bring this up quickly. We went to a sorry, Peter. I went to a place called Wario's, he has the Google Ads agency, and he's such a food addict. So he was really looking forward to the sandwich, and I made that meme of him. But yeah, great hangs with Peter. Appreciate him coming down. Ton of fun. Great podcast. Stay tuned for that. John Cadwick of Parallel Path in Columbus, really established health and wellness marketing agency in Columbus here locally. Met him for coffee. Just sent him a cold email, asked him, hey, like, would love to learn from you. And he reciprocated. I talked for over an hour. Just awesome conversation. Again, he'll likely refer us work in the future, but I have no expectations of it, Again, pipeline, So for those of you interested in that side of things, keep paying attention. Recorded 3 podcasts, highlights of my work life. Big highlight here launched the Columbus Marketing Jobs newsletter. So I did this 100% on a whim. Shout out to Nathan Pohl, who you should follow on LinkedIn. Nathan, my man, I had your LinkedIn pulled up here. Nathan Pohl. This guy right here started a newsletter called West Michigan Marketing Jobs, and I took a lot of inspiration from him. So shout out Nathan Pohl. Just connected with him today on a call, actually, and you can see us on our DMs here. But great dude, very generous with his knowledge, positive, encouraging, great guy to know. Highly recommend you follow him on LinkedIn. So that was a win for this month. Reconnected with Ben Herbert from Land. He was looking for a account manager, so reached out to my network and just had a really good coffee chat. We chatted for like 2 hours. Ben owns an agency in Columbus that I used to do a lot of contract work for when I first started. Just maintain the relationship, really easy to talk to, and he thinks I'm cool because I'm good at golf. And I think he's cool because he owns a big agency. So just really good to connect with him again. AMA website going well. The chapter's really happy about that. We donated a lot for that, so it's glad that they're happy. Shout out to Shane. I'm starting to run out of steam here, but I'm going to keep going. Shout out to Shane in Cleveland, Shane Gouthier. I'm actually going to Cleveland tomorrow on Friday to meet him. Great podcast, great connection. He's an awesome dude. I just really enjoyed spending time with him, even though we were going to record a podcast and we forgot to hit record. So unfortunate there. And the last on the wins, pipeline's slowly filling up toward the end of the month. Losses. So again, this is a recurring theme, but self-sabotage. This right here has been probably one of my most productive evenings in a long time, just because I pre-committed to this. But just not productive in evening hours. I usually get home. I've been working out in the morning. Always will be really consistent with that. But when I get home at like 6:30, I'm glad I didn't say like 6, 7. Anyway, I almost did. But I'm not productive in the evening hours, and I just get home and I just want to do anything except work. And it's not that I'm overworking. It's that I'm not focusing. In this environment, I have not curated for work. I'll eat at this desk. I sleep in the same area at home, so it's difficult. And I need to either stay out later or just curate my environment better. A lot of animosity and pressure, especially towards the end of the month. Like I said, high expenses. I had a lot of animosity around recording this video just because of the churn in revenue there, which put pressure on my mental health. 2 housing tours. So visited 2 duplexes in Columbus. Neither of them went well. It's a tough market, and just got to keep churning out those visits. Got to keep doing it. First experience hiring a video editor did not go well. I got to be honest with you guys, this was a huge disappointment. I paid $100 to have a video edited, which isn't crazy, but it's frustratingly poor communication and poor result. So we'll keep looking. It was only like my first. I did 5 trial tasks with different editors, and this one that I paid for just did not go well. So lessons for the future: body dysmorphia closing in. I have gained a lot of muscle. I've gained a lot of fat as well because I'm bulking, and it's time to go on a cut. And I'm excited to lose weight and be lean again because I really like being lean. But again, like even looking in the camera and seeing my face, it's difficult. And again, high month of expenses, hiring on a team member full-time, and that combined with AI experiments and conferences and not paying attention to the revenue took their toll. So why am I not paying attention to that and only looking at that once a month? Great question, accountability. So last month's goals, business and life. Consistent daily outreach on the kitchen timer. I did not use a kitchen timer, but I did do some form of LinkedIn outreach every day. We did not launch 2SP. That will be launched this month. Close 1 pipeline deal. We did not, but we're so close, so close. Set up Moxie pipeline. That I did. I invested in a CRM. 10 mastermind outreaches. I did 4, I think. 4 masterminds in Columbus. So not quite a win there. On life, surprised myself. That I did do. I started the newsletter. I didn't expect I was going to do that, and I did surprise myself. Go deep with people. That I did do. Get interested. That I did do. Consistent sleep and wake times, that I did not do. 15K gym, 3K. Did not do. I did always hit 11K steps, but I didn't always hit 3K calories. Finished 10X is the new 10X. 10X is the new 2X, the book. I did not do that. So, yeah. So about 50-50 on our goals. 5 out of 11. Not great. This month, goals. Consistent daily outreach on the kitchen timer. We'll do that. Exceed 20K in revenue. Should be fairly simple. Not easy. But we have the framework. We have the conditions set up for it. Grow Columbus marketing jobs to over 100 subs. Confident we can do that. We're currently at 69. Pause. Next, make taxes go smoothly. I have a hell of a tax situation this year. Filing at the same time as doing a retroactive S Corp reconfiguration. So it makes sense due to where revenue was last year to reconfigure to an S corporation, which I have to do retroactively because the year was already over. So managing that, shout out Eli Wagler, Straight Tax Consulting here in Dublin, my man helping me through this. Goals for business launch 2SP is a website that the clients are not being diligent on responding and getting us content, and I'm too nice to bill them extra. So this month we will launch, cut our losses. And final business goal, take a full day off on my birthday. Life goals, finish financial dashboard, almost done with that. Make sure you subscribe to the other channel to check that out. 10K, daily gym, 3K. So 10K steps, daily gym, and then 3K calories. Confident I'll be able to do that. I did that this month. Almost. 2 or at least 5. What the hell was I thinking? 2, at least 5 new houses or properties. I have 1 more visit set up. I just need more reps. I need to see more properties. I need to get in the game and not be conservative-minded about reinvesting into a property because this is an investment in my future. Attend friend's wedding. Shout out Owen. Probably the only wedding I've been invited to since graduation. A lot of entrepreneurs can relate to your old group of friends falling off, but this one reached out and invited me to a wedding, so I want to be present for that. And a double goal, take a full day off on my birthday. I have not taken a full day off, not opened the laptop one day since February 1st of 2024. A little over 2 years. I'm turning 25, and this is going to be a challenge, and I need to do it. So on that note, this will be the last monthly retro on this channel. Appreciate you guys following along to my journey to this point. Again, make sure you're subscribed to Andy the Freelance Marketer. I will link that here, there, and everywhere below. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all. Hope this was helpful. Those of you who reached out, more interested in the pipeline and lead generation side of things, hopefully this has given you some actionable feedback, things that you can implement into your own outreach strategies daily in order to create more referrals. And that's it for March. I'll see you guys on the other channel for the April retro. Peace.